So, hi, my name is Carl Stephen Nicoliar, and I'm here to present a lesson entitled Preparation of Engine for Ground and Flight Testing. So, first slide, pre-oiling. Before the new engine is flight tested, it must undergo a thorough ground check. Before this ground check can be made, several operations are usually performed on the engine. To prevent failure of the engine bearings during the initial start, the engine should be pre-oiled. When an engine has been idle for extended period of time, these interval bearing surfaces are likely to become dry at points where the corrosion preventive mixture has dried out or drained away from the bearing. So, ayun. Magpipre-oil tayo ng engine natin para ma-prevent yung pagkakaroon ng failure of engine, lalong-lalo na sa mga bearings natin. Kapag sa mga, especially sa mga initial start ng engine. Kasi, if hindi tayo nag-pre-oil or hindi tayo naglagay ng oil sa ating engine, kapag nag-start tayo ng engine na or sinasabing dry start ng engine, pwedeng masira yung mga moving parts natin, especially yung mga bearing surface natin. At yung pwede itong maging cause ng sira ng mga engines natin na ayun, where the corrosion preventive mixture has been dried out or drained away from the bearings. There are several methods of pre-oiling an engine. The method selected should be provide an expeditious and adequate pre-oiling service. After the engine has been pre-oiled, replace the spark plugs and connect the oil system. Generally, the engine should be operated within 4 hours of being pre-oiled, otherwise the pre-oiling procedure normally must be repeated. So, sinasabi dito na if nag-pre-oil tayo ng engine natin and within 4 hours hindi natin na operate or nagamit yung engine natin, ang kailangan natin gawin is ulitin natin yung pag-pre-oil natin kasi possible na if hindi tayo if possible na nag-operate tayo ng engine within 4 hours, yun possible na yung oil na nilagay natin is mag-dried out or mag-evaporate or hindi siya maging effective. So next, sorry. So, ang primary purpose ng pag-pre-oil is to ensure that the engine's moving parts are lubricated and ready to operate smoothly and efficiently. Yung pag-pre-oil din is nag-help na ma-prevent yung mga damage, yun nga, lalong-laro na sa mga engine bearings, piston, and other components that could occur from dry start. Without proper lubrication, this part can experience excessive wear and tear, which could lead to premature engine failure. So next, fuel system reading. Basically, itong slides na to is sinasabi lang niya yung mga process or mga procedure at saka some important reason kung ba't kailangan natin i-read yung fuel system natin. So first is to purge the fuel system of airlocks and to aid in flushing any traces of preservative oil from a pressure carburetor, fuel injector unit or fuel control. Remove the drain plug in the fuel unit chamber that is farthest from the fuel inlet to the fuel unit. After ensuring the fuel shut off and main fuel tank valves are open, turn on the fuel boost pump until there are no traces of preservative oil in the fuel being pumped through the system. The passage of air is indicated by the absence of air mix in the fuel emerging from the end of the hose submerged in the container of fuel. Air trapped in the system should not be confused with the numerous small air bubbles that may appear as a result of the velocity of the fuel being ejected from the engine's fuel unit. Usually, after approximately a gallon of fuel has been bled off, the system can be considered safe operation. After completing the bleeding operation, return all switches and controls to their normal or off position and replace and safety all fuel units connection disturbs. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga ang pagbi-bleed ng fuel system natin? So, yung pagbi-bleed ng fuel system natin is natutulungan nito ma-remove yung mga air sa loob ng fuel lines natin. At saka yung pagre-remove ng air sa fuel lines natin is nag-help para ma-prevent yung vapor lock na tinatawag. So, ano ba yung vapor lock? Yung vapor lock is yung kapag yung fuel is vaporized, kapag yung fuel lines is yung mga fuel is na vaporized due to high temperatures or low pressure. So, yung vapor lock can cause the fuel to stop flowing to the engine and leading to engine failure. Basically, yung vapor lock is nagka-clog yung fuel lines natin due sa excessive air na meron at nagve-vaporize yung mga fuel at saka nagsa-stop yung pag-flow ng engine kasi nga due to high temperature or low pressure. Tapos if ever na mag-stop yung pag-flow ng mga fuel sa engine natin, pwede itong mag-lead sa engine failure. So fuel system bleeding is particularly important in high altitude flight. At high altitude, the air pressure is lower, which can cause air bubbles to form in the fuel lines. So yun nga, mas magkakaroon ng presence ng air bubbles sa high altitude kasi yung air pressure dun is mas mababa compare mo sa low altitude, na yung bubbles na yun is pwede mag-form sa fuel lines at mag-cause ng clogging at pwedeng maging vapor lock. Tapos, pag-bleed ng fuel system before take-off helps to ensure that the engine receives a consistent supply of fuel throughout the flight. So, next, check and adjustment after engine run-up and operation. After the engine has been ground operated and again after flight test, operational factor must be adjusted as necessary. And the entire installation given a thorough visual inspection. This adjustment often includes a fuel pressure and oil pressure, as well as the rechecks of such factors as ignition timing, valve clearance, and idle speed and mixture. If these rechecks are indicated by the manner in which the engine performs. After both the initial ground run-up and test flight, remove the oil sump, plugs, and screens and inspect for metal particles. Clean the screens before reinstalling them. So, one example na pwede kong maibigay is katulad ng sa pagmumotor, kapag gagamitin mo yung motor sa karera, diba magkakaroon siya ng isa munang test run. After that test run, i-check ng mga mekaniko kung ano yung mga kailangan pang ayusin or kailangan nilang i-adjust para mag-smooth operate yung mga engine na ginagamit nila at para din maiwasan nila yung mga possible na maging sira ng engine. So, after ng katulad sa aeroplano, kapag na-run up na din, kailangan mo ulit i-inspect yung mga necessary parts kung anong mga kailangan mong i-adjust, lalo na mga fuel pressure at oil pressure. Isama mo na din yung mga oil sump at mga oil screens na kailangan mong inspect dun is yung mga metal particles. Kasi kapag nagkaroon ng presence of metal particles sa loob ng engine mo is pwede siya mag-cause ng sira. Pwede siya mag-cause ng sira sa engine. Next is propeller check. The propeller, if equipped, must be checked before, during, and after the engine has been ground operated. The propeller should be checked for proper torque on the mounting bolts, leaks, vibration, and for correct safety. A propeller whose pitch changing mechanism is electrically actuated maybe check before the engine maybe check before the engine is operated. Propellers whose pitch changing mechanism are all actuated must be checked during the engine operation after the normal operating oil temperature has been reached. In addition, checking the increase or decrease in RPM, the feathering cycle of the propeller should also be checked. So, yun nga. Bakit natin kailangan i-check yung propeller? Kailangan natin i-check yung propeller kasi isa to sa mga isa to sa mga possible na maging cause na hindi maging airworthy yung aeroplano natin. Kailangan natin i-check yung mga torques ng mga bolts natin, mga possible leaks, engine leaks, oil leaks sa engine natin na pwedeng pumunta sa propeller natin, vibration ng propeller natin kung normal pa ba yung vibration at for correct safety. Example natin dito is sa safety, kailangan natin i-check yun kasi kailangan natin i-check yung mga misaligned na propeller, kung sabay-sabay ba sila, kung sync ba sila. Tapos yung imbalance ng propeller or even ba yung mga structure ng propeller. Kasi kapag hindi sila sync or misaligned sila or imbalance sila, pwede yung mag-lead ng sobrang lakas na vibration na hindi na normal sa propeller natin. Next is sa performance. Yung performance plays a crucial role on optimizing the engine, lalong-lalo na ang propeller kasi kapag hindi natin na maximum yung performance ng isang propeller, pwede siya mag-cause ng increase sa fuel consumption. Next is maintenance. Regular inspection of pitch changing mechanism of the propeller can help to identify the wear and tear. Yun nga. Basically, pag nagme-maintain tayo, kailangan makikita natin or ma-identify natin kung may wear and tear na ba yung propeller blades natin, yung hub natin, at saka yung other components ng propeller natin. And lastly, regulation. Nare-regulate tayo ng FAA or CAAP na kailangan tayo mag-comply sa regulation ng LAC at yung kasama doon yung pag-check, pag-inspect or regularly check ng propeller natin kasi big factor nga yun sa pagiging airworthy ng aeroplano natin or aircraft. So basically, we have four reasons kung bakit kailangan natin i-check: safety, performance, maintenance, at regulations. So, yan, check all lines for leakage, some information kung bakit kailangan natin bukod sa pag-check ng propeller natin. Check all lines, check the oil system, inspect the cylinder, and this check also be performed after the flight immediately succeeding the test flight. Next is preservation and storage of engines. An engine awaiting for overhaul or return to service after overhaul must be given careful attention. It does not receive the daily care and attention necessary to detect and correct early stages of corrosion. For this reason, some definite action must be taken to prevent corrosion from affecting the engine. Engines that are not shown regularly may not achieve the normal service life because of corrosion in and around the cylinders. The normal combustion process creates moisture and corrosive byproducts that attack the unprotected surfaces of the cylinder walls, valves, and any other exposed areas that are unprotected. So, ayun nga. Yung mga engine natin na hindi nagagamit or nasa preservation period is mas kailangan natin siyang i-inspect. Mas kailangan na silang bigyan ng pansin, lalong-lalo na kapag gagamitin natin siya or i-RTS na natin siya kasi once na ma-preserve mo yung engine or hindi tama yung pagkaka-preserve ng engine, possible na magkaroon siya ng corrosion sa loob ng engine, lalo na sa mga cylinder walls ng engine natin. So, Paano nasabi na mas maikli yung engine life ng hindi nagagamit kaysa sa nagagamit? Kasi yun nga, kapag nagagamit mo yung engine, mas na-inspect mo siya, mas nabibigyan mo siya ng pansin, at additionally, yung engine is nag ano siya, may way siya kung paano maalis yung moisture na pwedeng mag-build up sa loob ng engine, at yun yung sinasabi nating combustion method na nangyayari sa engine natin. While yung mga engine na nakatambak lang is ayun, hindi natin nagagamit or hindi natin nabibigyan ng pansin. Next is an engine that have accumulated 50 hours or more time in service in a short period. The cylinder walls have acquired a varnish that tends to protect them for corrosive action. Engine under favorable atmospheric condition can remain inactive for several weeks without evidence by damage corrosion. So yun nga, if nagagamit mo yung engine mo kahit in a short time of period lang, yung short time of period na yun is meron ng big impact sa engine, lalo na sa cylinder walls natin, kasi nagkakaroon siya ng varnish na napoprotect niya siya ng ating mga lubricating oil, which is yung lubricating oil kasi is nagbibigay siya ng protective coating sa mga cylinder walls natin, sa mga other components ng engine natin. So this is the best case scenario, but the aircraft that operates close to ocean, lakes, rivers, and humid regions have a greater need for engine preservation than engine operated in dry, low, humid areas. So yun, if ever na merong mga aircraft na operate sa mga malalapit sa dagat, sa mga lakes, rivers, mas possible siyang magkaroon ng moisture sa loob. Compare mo siya sa low humid areas. Example na lang is napakainit katulad dito sa Pilipinas pag summer. Mas ano siya, mas hindi siya greater need of engine preservation. Kumbaga, mas limit lang or mas onti lang yung possible na moisture na ma-build up kasi nga dry, low humid areas tayo. Next is corrosion preventive materials. An engine in service is in a sense of self-purging of moisture, since the heat combustion evaporates the moisture in and around the engine, and the lubricating oil circulated through the engine temporarily forms a protective coating on the metal in contact. So yun nga, sinasabi ko kanina na if ever na ginagamit mo yung engine mo or ginagamit mo siya in service, nakakatulong yung paggamit ng engine kasi nagsa-self-purge yung engine nagsa-self-purging of moisture yung engine. Parang ini-eliminate niya yung moisture through the help of the heat combustion, na nag-evaporate yung mga moisture sa loob ng engine kasi nga yung high temperature of heat combustion na nangyayari sa loob ng engine. At saka yung mga lubricating oil na yan, nagbibigay siya ng temporary protective coating sa mga metal contacts natin, sa mga metal na nako-contact ng lubricating oil natin. If the operation engine in service is limited or suspended for a period of time, the engine is preserved to varying extent depending upon how long it is still inoperative. There are three types of engine storage: active engine, and temporary, and indefinite. So ano ba yung tatlong yan? I-explain siya next slide. So an engine in active storage is defined as having at least one continuous hour of operation. Kumbaga, sa active storage, nagamit mo yung engine kahit in a short service of time lang. Then yung paggamit mo yun is nagkakaroon siya ng at least 165 degree to 200 degree Fahrenheit ng oil temperature sa loob ng engine mo. Yun nga, sinasabi dito sa last slides na yung lubricating oil is nag-a-act or nagbibigay ng protective coating sa mga metal na nakakontact niya. So, yun, dito naman sa temporary stage, it describes an aircraft engine that is not flown for 30 to 90 days. Ito yung pwede dito may isang case ng aircraft na nasa high maintenance or overhaul period na. na hindi siya nagagamit for 30 to 90 days. So dito sa indefinite storage is for an aircraft not to be flown over 90 days or is removed from the aircraft for extended time. So dito sa indefinite, ito yung wala kasiguraduhan kung magagamit mo pa ba or gagamitin mo pa ba sa future references yung engine. So next is corrosion preventive compounds. Corrosion preventive compounds are petroleum-based products that forms wax-like films over the metals to which they are applied. Several types of corrosion preventive compounds are manufactured according to a different specification to fit the various application needs. So yun, itong corrosion preventive compounds ito na yung mismo ginagamit natin para maiwasan yung corrosion. Tapos meron din mga several types of corrosion preventive compounds. Meron siyang madaming types of corrosion preventive compounds. Nakadepende na lang siya sa uses at kung ano yung gusto mong uses at saka kung anong klase o anong kind ng corrosion ba yung gusto mong iwasan or ma-prevent. The type of mix with engine oil to perform a corrosion preventive mixture is a relatively light compound that readily blends with an engine oil when the mixture is heated to the proper temperature. So yun, meron din is types of corrosion preventive compound na hinahalo na sa engine oil. Yun, pinipremix na siya. Tapos the desired proportion of lubricating and other heavy or light corrosion preventive compound must not be obtained by adding the compound to the oil already in the engine. The mixture must be prepared separately before applying to engine placing and oil. So yun, hindi siya dinadirect halo sa oil. Kailangan mong i-separate muna yung mixture sa oil before mo siya ipagaluin sa oil tank. Although corrosion preventive compounds act an insulator from moisture, in the presence of moisture, eventual breakdown and corrosion begins. So yun nga, yung corrosion preventive compounds natin is hindi naman siya panghabang buhay, nawawala rin siya, lalo na pagka meron ng excessive moisture. Eventually nagbe-breakdown or nawawala yung mga compounds na ginamit natin. The compounds eventually dry because the oil-based gradually evaporates. So yun nga, nawala siya kasi nag-evaporates yung mga oil, which is na hinalo natin yung compound sa oil. This allow moisture to contact and this metal aids in corroding. So yun, kapag nawala na yung compound na ginamit natin, yung moisture magko-contact sa engine at possible mag-corrode na ulit yung engine natin. Therefore, when an engine is stored in a shipping case or container, some dehydrating or moisture removing agent must be used to remove moisture from air and around the engine. So yung dehydrating agent is di-discuss natin next slide. So what is dehydrating agent? It absorbs the moisture from the atmosphere in sufficient quantities to be useful as dehydrators. One of these is a silica gel. Example na lang is makikita mo siya sa mga sapatos. Pag bumili ka ng sapatos, makikita mo siya isang maliit na pack. Ito yung nag-help para ma-absorb yung moisture. So ito sa corrosion preventive bags, silica gel are placed around the visible or various accessible parts of stored engine. It's also used in a clear plastic plugs called dehydrator plugs that can be screwed into engine openings such as spark plug holes. Cobalt chloride is added. Silica gel dehydrator plugs is added to mix possible to indicate the moisture content. In short, yung silica gel ilalagay sa dehydrator plugs. Ang purpose nun is absorb ng moisture. Then yung cobalt chloride, ang purpose niyan is para makita mo or parang ito yung basehan mo kung gaano kadami yung moisture or meron bang moisture content sa loob ng engine or kung gaano kadaming air na nagsusurround sa engine. Yung cobalt chloride treats silica gel remains bright blue if the colors are low na relative. Blue becomes progressive lighter, becomes lavender 30%, and magiging white siya or lesser graphic. Basically, pag blue siya, below 30% lang yung presence of moisture or presence of air sa presence of air. Tapos kapag 30 to 59%, magiging pink na siya or pink or lavender 30 to 59%. Pag 60% and above, magiging natural color na siya or kung ano talaga yung kulay ng isang silica gel. When the relativity humidity is less than 30%, corrosion does not normally take place. So, ayun, if ever na yung cobalt chloride or yung dehydrator flux natin is color light blue, yung chance of chance ng pagka-corrosion is not normally take place or not possible. Therefore, the dehydrator flux are bright blue. Their density is so little moisture. Konti lang yung moisture niya kasi nga below 30% pa lang siya. Using cobalt chloride, this is just using humidity indicator envelopes. These envelopes can be fastened to the stored engine so they can be suspected throughout small window in the shipping case or metal or engine container. All desiccants are sealed in the container to prevent their becoming saturated with moisture before they are used. Care should be taken never to leave the container open or improperly closed. So here are some example. So yan, sabi nga dito na kapag lavender or pink siya, sabi niya na yung possible percentage ng dehydrator plugs is nasa 30 to 59. If the dehydrator plugs blue showing low humidity, ito yung pag blue siya, meron siyang 0 to 30% of humid or air na nakasurround sa engine. So, engine preservation and return to service. Before an engine is placed in temporary or indefinite storage, it should be operated and filled with corrosion preventive oil mixture added. Return corrosion by coating. So, yun nga. Ang sinasabi ko dito, anong sinabi kapag temporary or indefinite storage? If temporary, possible naka-stop yung engine mo ng 30 to 90 days or hindi nagagamit. While the indefinite storage naman is 90 days or indefinite, hindi mo na alam kung kailan mo ulit gagamitin. Drain the normal lubricating oil from the sump or system and replace the preservative oil mixture according to the manufacturer instruction. Operate the engine until normal operating temperatures are obtained for at least 1 hour. Always take the appropriate precautions when turning or working around the propeller or engine blades. So, ayun nga. So, an engine is placed. Yan, kailangan mo silang bigyan ng matinding preservation of engine. Lalo kapag di mo ginagamit. Tapos, yung mga lubricating oil, kailangan mo ma-drain. Yung mga lubricating oil, kailangan mo i-drain at kailangan mo palitan ng mga preservative oil mixture. Kasi nga, ayun. Kasi ipa-preserve mo yung engine mo, kailangan mo palitan ng oil. Which is specifically the preservative oil kung ano pa talaga yung kung saan talaga siya gagamitin. Kailangan mo saan mo siya gagamitin, preservative, i-preserve. Operate the engine until normal operating temperatures are obtained for at least 1 hour. So, yan. Kailangan mo nang i-operate yung engine hanggang at least 1 hour. Always take the appropriate precaution in turning or working around the propeller. Siyempre, ano ba yung engine blades? Alam mo na yan kung bakit kailangan ng matinding caution pag mag-work ka. Lalo na pag gagamitin mo yung propeller or engine blades. If the engine is stored in a wooden shipping case, ignition harness blades are attached to the hydraulic plugs with blade supports. Special ventilator plugs are installed in the spark plug holes of an engine, stored horizontally in a storage container. An engine being prepared for storage must receive thorough treatment around the exhaust ports because the residue of the exhaust gas is potentially very corrosive For a corrosive and corrosion-preventive mixture must be sprayed into each exhaust port, including the exhaust port. After the exhaust ports have been thoroughly coated, a moisture-proof and oil-proof gasket backed by a metal or wooden plate should be secured over the exhaust ports using the exhaust stock mounting studs and nuts. This covers from seal to prevent moisture from entering interior of the engine throughout the exhaust ports. Engines stored in metal containers usually have special ventilatory covers. After following details have been taken care of, the engine is ready to be packed into its container. If the engine has not been spray coated with corrosion preventive mixture, the propeller shaft and propeller shaft thrust bearing must be coated with a compound. So yun, if ever na hindi mo siya na-sprayan ng corrosion preventive mixture, at least kailangan mo siyang ma-coat ng compound para maiwasan pa rin yung para maiwasan pa rin yung corrosion. A plastic sleeve or moisture-proof paper is secured around the shaft and treated protector cap is screwed onto the propeller retaining nut threads. Before its installation in a shipping container, the engine should be carefully inspected to determine if the following accessories which are not part of the basic engine have been removed: spark plugs and spark plug thermocouples, remote fuel pump adapters, propeller hub attaching bolt, starter generators, vacuum pumps, hydraulic pumps, and so on and so on. So basically yung sinasabi sa mga slides na to is kung ano ba yung mga kailangan mong gagawin kapag magpe-preserve ka ng engine. So ayun, ito yung mga procedures kung anong mga kailangan mong gawin, kung ba't mahalaga, at kung ano yung mga parts na kailangan mong bigyan talaga ng thorough inspection or yun, ang mahalagang parts na kailangan mong i-preserve ng ayos. So, syempre, pag hindi mo nasunod to, possible, mag-cause pa rin ng corrosion yung mga other parts ng engine. At, yun, hindi mo maiwasan na magka-corrosion o masira yung mga engine kasi mali yung pagkaka-preserve ng mga components natin. So, lastly, the inspection of stored engines. Most maintenance shops provide a scheduled inspection system for engine and storage. Normally, the humidity indicators of an engine stored in a shipping case are inspected for every 30 days. When the protective envelope must be opened to inspect the humidity indicator, the inspection period may be extended to once every 90 days. If a local condition permits, the humidity indicator of a metal container is inspected for every 180 days under normal conditions. If the humidity indicator in a wooden shipping case shows by its color than more than 30%, relative humidity is present in the air around the engine. All desiccants should be replaced. If more than half the dehydrator plug installed in the spark plug holes indicated the presence of excessive moisture, the interior of the cylinder should be resprayed. If the humidity indicator in a metal container gives a safe blue indication, but air pressure has dropped below 1 psi, the container needs only to be brought to the proper pressure with dehydrated air. However, if the humidity indicator show an unsafe peak condition, the engine should be represerved. So basically, dito mo makikita or dito mo talaga magagamit yung dehydrator plug kasi dito ni-inspect mo yung engine na naka-stored. Dito bali yung pagbe-basean mo is yung dehydrator plug. Sinasabi dito na kapag safe blue pa rin indication, pero yung air pressure is drop below 1 psi, kailangan mo nang dalhin yung container sa proper pressure or kailangan mong i-dehydrate yung air sa loob ng preservation ng naka-store na engine. However, if the humidity indication safe, it should be preserved. So, ayan, lalo kapag naging unsafe na or pink na yung dehydrator plugs, kailangan mo na ulit i-preserve or kailangan mo ulitin yung mga process ng pag-preserve mo ng engine. So, That's it. So this is the last part of my recording. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching. Thank you.